What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another podcast. We have some peeps joining in on the Zoom call, which is awesome. If you're in my fitness community, we have 2 calls every single week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. every single week. And if you're in my fitness community, you have access to it for life. And so, even if you're tuning in on the Zoom call right now, you can pop in at any time. On Tuesdays, though, specifically, what I do is I record a YouTube video, I record a podcast, but I also record this video for the community. And this also gives people from my community to pop in and ask questions, or, clients, if they need programming or something like that, I can help them with that. But essentially on Tuesdays, I like to talk about something just to expand and open up your mind a little bit when it comes to fitness, because we all need a little bit of that sometimes. We all need a little bit of community sometimes. We all need a little bit of self-reflection sometimes. And I know that in my fitness journey, I've needed that a lot, especially when I'm not motivated, or when I'm not feeling good about myself. Maybe I'm feeling low. Maybe I'm feeling anxious. Maybe I feel like I'm behind. Maybe I feel like my self-worth is low. So it's how do you get back to a place where you feel good and you feel confident? Because that's what I feel like fitness should help us with. It's more to, feel good rather than feeling this constant pressure to be in a certain place. And that's what I've really transitioned my goals around this year towards, is feeling good. And I've actually taken away a lot of the pressure on my end when it comes to fitness, because I have felt too much pressure for too long with something that I know that should just make me feel good. And for me, I felt that pressure a lot because I was competing, with fitness, whether that was bodybuilding competitions or a performance-based sport. But, I realized after a long time, I'm just you know what, this isn't for me. For some people it is, but for me personally, it's I really want to just feel good. And I also feel like that's what a lot of people want to feel. I feel like that's why a lot of people follow me. That's also, I find, why my clients sign up to join my program, because they want to feel the same way. And the thing is, though, is sometimes we can get influenced by social media, by people, and we need to find a way to stay grounded throughout it. And a lot of the time it's done just by talking about it, which is why I have this podcast, which is why I have my fitness program. It's to help people stay grounded and, have what they need in their journey. And so here are a couple of training myths that I used to believe that ruined my progress, not just physically, but also mentally. Number one is the overtraining trap. And I actually see this a lot with a lot of people who start to work with me. They think that they need to work out 7 days a week or 6 days a week. And for some people, you can sustain that. It does cause a lot of stress, though. When you have other things to do, you gotta, keep your house clean, you got errands to run, you got things to plan, things to do. It can be a lot. And so for the most part, it usually doesn't work for most people 6 to 7 days a week. Sometimes, honestly, 3 to 4 days a week works the best for most. Sometimes I find that people try to force themselves so much to stick to a 5-day routine per week, or 6 days or 7 days. And they're doing that simply because they feel the pressure to do that, because they feel like they need to keep up with it. You know what I mean? And it sounds so stupid, because it's it sounds like such a simple decision. Oh, if my schedule's fine, or, I can work through it. Or if my schedule does get too much, I'll just decrease the days. But no, people literally get caught up in their own routines. I see it all the time where they really try to force themselves to stick with it. And they don't change it for a while. They don't change their plan. They don't change their goals, and they stress out about it. And I have one of my clients, and she's yeah, work's been super busy. Some people have been let go, and I've had to take up a lot of their work, but I'm still trying to power through. I'm still trying to make it work. And every single week for the last 4 weeks, she's checked in with me, and she's been oh, I haven't been able to do much this week because it's been busy. And multiple times I've brought up why don't we just like change your plan and get you to work out 2 to 3 days a week? And I'll send you a meal plan, but like be flexible with it. You don't need to be super crazy with it. And it's just when people have these goals like weight loss or, you know, getting leaner, getting more toned, like a lot of the time we go all in, and sometimes it's good to do that and it's good to push yourself. But honestly, for the most part, with a lot of the people I've worked with, it usually never ends up well. So the way that I like to approach things is like from a balanced perspective. You know, we want to push hard, but we don't want to overdo it. And if you're not able to sustain something, you need to dial it back. You need to let go a little bit so that way you can feel better about your journey. Otherwise, it's going to be this constant back and forth with your fitness, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be enjoyable, but you're also not going to feel good about it. And the best part about it is like you can design your life in a way where fitness is just such a bonus versus being such a thing that drags you down, but you need to take accountability for it and like ownership and change it when you need to, because there's going to be times where maybe you can do a bit more and times where you can do a bit less. And it's about staying aware as you go, because it's never going to be the exact same all the way through. There's going to be those changes here or there. And you need to listen to those times in your life and make those changes. Otherwise you will be stressed. And, you know, that's when you actually, you know, take a couple of steps back, because you know, you're actually not really doing much with your time. It's just kind of unproductive in a sense. It's kind of like hustle culture, and that looks a lot different for a lot of people. But for the most part, it's simply like working your ass off every single day. And, you know, if you don't work from 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9, you know, you're a little bitch. But like, that's not how it is. And, you know, you might be exhausted about it. Like I had a friend tell me, he's like, man, I'm trying to find life balance right now. But I feel like I'm just being like a little bit of a bitch if I'm like exhausted and I can't work after my 9 to 5 because he's trying to work on his business. And I'm like, bro, life balance is being able to like listen to yourself and resting when you need it. And you won't be able to do that every day of the week. And if you look at people in the real world, they're literally not working all the time 24/7. That's impossible. But something that I see is that, you know, it's not even just people in fitness. It's just like people as a whole think this way because of how our society is built and what our culture looks like. It's hustle, 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 work, 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 nonstop. But people think the same way about their fitness. And then it's like every area of their life, there's pressure and stress. And it's like, good Lord, like we have to manage this better, because you can feel a lot better about it if you do. And this leads me to my next point, mistaking hard for effective. So for me, something that I've been doing lately is if I am not feeling it during my workout, like yesterday, I was going through my workout, but I'm like, man, I'm not feeling that strong, not feeling that motivated, feeling a little tired. I'm going to take it a little bit easy. I'm not going to train as hard. I'm going to cut off a couple of sets. I'm going to make my rest times a little bit longer. I'm not going to go as hard on cardio. I still got it done, but it was just a lot easier. But in the past, I would beat myself up for not working as hard as I know that I could. But what that does is it just stresses you out. It could lead to an injury. It could lead to you injuring yourself, you know, because you're training so hard and your body isn't feeling it. And so the best thing that anybody can do, like if you're a client listening to this or somebody who's in their fitness, like listen to your body in the moment. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Life and fitness, you know, the fitness journey. And you need to listen to that, because you won't be able to sustain it if you're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing all the time, trying to make every workout the hardest and the best. It's not how it is. I think that's the best part about fitness, is like how it goes really reflects life. Sometimes in life, you need to listen instead of just act. And what I mean by that is in life, you know, sometimes you need to slow down a little bit, not plan as much, not do as much because you're a little bit too stressed out. With your workouts, they're going to have times where your body just isn't feeling it. and maybe you're like just a little bit burnt out mentally and you need to take it a little bit easier, and like that's okay. Or sometimes maybe you need to take the day off, like that's okay. It kind of depends on the person that you are as well. Some people need a little bit more of that, some people don't. And something I see with people hiring me as their coach, they're kind of just like, oh, like since I'm in this, I should be doing it all the time, 24/7. And then I start to guide them through it a little bit more, and they start to see the change and they feel a lot better about it. So part 3, the identity shift. This is something I had to learn the hard way. You're not a failure if you rest. You're not lazy if you take a day off. You're actually being a good athlete. You're being smart. I'm not saying that you guys are athletes, but you know, you're being a good trainee. You're being someone who's good. I had to stop thinking like a grinder and start thinking like someone who wanted to perform, build a physique, and feel good doing it. I don't want to be miserable doing it. I want to be happy doing it. So if you're just starting out right now and you feel like you're not doing enough, you probably are. And if you're tempted to do more, pause, zoom out, and ask yourself, is this actually helping? Or is it just feeding that old belief that more equals better? And so my final thoughts is that progress doesn't come from doing the most. It comes from doing the right things consistently. And sometimes you have to change what those right things are, but with your fitness, it's pretty black and white with fitness, which is like the best part. Like you don't need to be doing any kind of magical bullshit. You don't need to kind of do anything crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's the best part about, I guess I would say, myself as a coach, is I cut through all the BS and I just tell you like what's right, what's wrong, what's a myth, what's not. So then that way you're not spending your money on stupid shit. You're doing the right things and only the right things. Because what really improves your health is working out and pushing yourself, getting stronger, getting better with workouts, with fitness, just workouts. Like that's it for a long period of time. And then eating relatively well for a long time. That is it. Nothing else. Your workouts don't need to change all the time. You don't need to change your nutrition all the time. You don't need to go on a nutrition kick or like a diet kick or a detox. Those don't work. You need to start with your ground, bare bone, basic habits and improve those. And guess what? The fittest people in the world, they do that for years. They don't jump on new trends or anything else. They just do the things that actually improve their health. But if you keep doing that though, that's when you stress yourself out. That's when you don't really get it. You know what I mean? Like that's when it's like, it's kind of like someone in business who like tries to start a million businesses, but they don't just focus on growing one. You just need to, just focus on the basics. Like that's it. And so that's how you truly build progress. Follow the plan, don't overdo it, trust the process. Okay? And if you're here watching this, throw that in the comments. Follow the plan, don't overdo it, trust the process. If you're listening, repeat it back to yourself. Follow the plan, don't overdo it, trust the process. If you're like, repeat it to yourself. Use it as a mantra because it's true. And sometimes I need to also give myself that as well because it grounds me as well. Because sometimes I overthink as well. And that's normal. It's very human to do. But you're here to build something that lasts, not just get sore and tired after 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, guys. If this hit home, make sure to share it with friends, follow the podcast, clients, post in the community, drop those comments, to everybody else. Like, just take it a little bit easier and replan sometimes. And just, if you're a client of mine too, and you listen to this and maybe you're realizing a few things, reach out or message me and be like, hey coach, we need to replan. Like we need to, I realize this, that, like whatever it is. And like, that's okay. It's okay to be in that place. All right. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for listening. And I hope that you guys have an awesome day today.